Oh my God, folks, the Tony nominations are out. You know we have opinions about them. So we are discussing the nominations, the snubs, what we're loving, what we're ing, and all of that stuff over at the Patreon. But here is a little sneak peek to wet your whistle. Babes, the Tony nominations came out. But of course, the Tonys are going to do what? They are going to nominate none of the trans or gender nonconforming folks from the Jellicle Ball Cats revival. You know, we're mad about it, so we had to come here. There's things to be excited about, but also, what the fuck? Hello, and welcome to the You Might Know Her from Patreon with Damien and...
And hello, welcome to the Patreon. Thank you for supporting us here. Thank you for diving into the Tony nominations, which just came out this morning. I agree. I mean, I don't know that I'm surprised by the Tony committee not knowing how to nominate anyone from Cats, the Jellicle Ball, except for Andre DeShields, who I believe is very deserving and wonderful, but would have loved to see
Wonderful.
Temptress get a Best Supporting Actor or Best Featured Actress nomination. Would have loved to see Junior LaBeija get nominated.
Ugh.
Just
That
I
is the one. I mean, obviously Temptress because she is wonderful and the role is sort of like built for like is like a break, like Temptress is like Grisabella is like the breakout role, but I felt very touched by Junior LaBeija in both. I saw it off Broadway and then I just saw the Broadway production, and I feel like, oh, it's very moving. I feel like I'm very moved by his involvement in the production, by his performance, what his performance says about, you know, like his legacy, about ballroom's legacy. I also went to a screening of Paris is Burning maybe 15 years ago where he and Jenny Livingston were there, and they did a talk back afterwards, and they like got in a fight about money on stage, and it was sad but fascinating. And it's like, I know Jenny Livingston probably didn't make a lot of money from, I mean, I would theorize she didn't, but maybe she made more probably than any of the people that were featured. And I know how documentaries work, but also it's like, what is, you know, what is documentary, like what is exploitive, what is, you know, shining a light on something. Anyway, blah 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 blah. I was very moved by his performance, and also was just remembering like at that screening how he was like, RuPaul stole my shtick and stole like our community shtick and like essentially commodified it and is now like household name famous, and like people like my brethren and sistren are like dead or poor, like destitute, or, you know, like not no longer in the business because like we weren't able to turn it into a business essentially. Anyway, sorry, this is a real derailment, but I felt like I was really moved by him coming out in the Broadway production and being like, wow, what it must feel like for him to return to like the limelight and get to put on this performance as Gus, the theater cat, and like have the audience be like, yes, Junior. And I thought, wow, I really hope he gets a Tony nomination. And so I'm like particularly bummed by that nomination or snub. Sorry, folks. I'm obviously coming in with the snubs before I'm even getting to who was nominated, but I feel like I was really particularly moved by the lack of nominations for the performances in the Jellicle Ball, because I feel like that's
yeah,
what makes it, you know?
yeah, and I'm seeing it again this Sunday on Broadway. I also saw it off Broadway, and it was the highlight of, was it last year, the year before? It
Yeah, it
was
was
one
last
of
year.
my favorite theater going experiences in so long. So I'm excited to see if they can capture that on Broadway. I know that you have opinions, but have been shielding them from me until I see it again. So thank you. But I cannot stress enough that if you haven't seen Cats the Jellicle Ball, that you must see it. It is all the things people have been saying. It makes Cats make sense. It is a beautiful celebration of the ballroom community by major members of the community mixed in with Broadway talent. And I think it's a really interesting, I felt at least that the off Broadway production successfully walked that line between like having a niche culture commodified and put on stage. And I feel like even in the choreography notes, we talked about this. The choreographers talked about like what it is to commercialize like a marginalized community, and the tension that exists in that space. And so I just feel like it's very important that you have people from the community. It's like for us, by us, that those people are on the ground floor of this production. And I feel like you can feel it and it makes sense. So I can't wait to see it again. I'm really happy for Andre DeShields. Again, anytime you get to see Andre DeShields on stage in New York, you absolutely should take the opportunity. We
Well,
are living amongst a legend, and it is just like watching him hold space, watching him just like stand and talk is an experience. I just feel like there are few artists we have left of his caliber. So I cannot say enough how much you all should be paying to go see Cats the Jellicle Ball. It's the highlight of the season.
that said, I believe that the tickets are quite expensive, so if you could find a way to get, like, the teacher tickets or,
Mhm.
like, if you
You
can't
should explore
afford the premium
TDF,
tickets.
which is a great option for getting tickets across the board for Broadway and off Broadway. If you are an artist, if you're an educator, and if you don't know about TDF, let us know. Google it. You can get membership pretty easy. Are you clergy? Clergy's also locked in. Do we have any nuns or rabbis or pastors or imams listening? You're
We used to have a fan slash listener who was a rabbi. Bless you. Are you still a Patreon member?
Yeah, are you still with us? A
A
Jewish rabbi,
lesbian
a
a
lesbian
lesbian
Jewish
rabbi?
rabbi. I hope
Well,
she's
isn't
still
that
with us.
redundant? Aren't most rabbis Jewish?
I guess it is redundant. I don't know what I was talking about. Folks, Damien
Folks, we're
and I,
talking too
for the
much.
record, hold on. Damien, for the record, I just want to set up for our listeners who are here with us on the Patreon that I crawled back into bed to record this. I've got my lap desk, I've got a heating pad on my back and an ice pack on my neck because I'm having some intense body pain that I can't get rid of. Damien, what's your setup?
Hey, babe, I'm on my love seat. I have a heating pad on my lower back, giving myself lombardo. What is that called?
Lumbar, your lower lumbar?
Lombard,
Lumbar.
Lombard with a
Lumbar.
D, Lombardo.
No
My
D, no
Lombardo,
D.
my Lombardo. Do you remember that? I think Judith Light got nominated for a Tony for that.
100%.
Lombardo, babe. My Lombardo is still, flares up here and there. I think I slept funny on my Lombardo last night, so I have a heating pad on my lower back where my Lombardo is. And that's me and Ronnie are on the whatever this is, my sofa, recording this. I want to say I'm sorry we started with not snubs and mostly towards men, which is crazy. Um, and I mean, we're mostly talking about Junior LaBeija and Andre DeShields here, which is crazy. Andre was nominated. He was wonderful. I don't begrudge him. But let's talk about who was nominated. Okay, so
Totally.
we're starting with let's just talk about women. So
Yeah,
best
yeah.
leading actress in a musical. We got Sarah Chase for Schmigadoon. I haven't seen it yet.
I can't wait. I was hoping for a nomination for my girl Anne Harada, but I've heard nothing but great things about Schmigadoon, so it is on our docket to see this season. We've
For
got
sure.
Stephanie Shu in the Richard O'Brien's Rocky Horror Show revival, Casey Levi in Ragtime, Marla Mindell in Titanic, and
The lesbian. We're
a
happy.
lesbian, and Christiana Pitts for Two Strangers Carry a Cake Across New York. Now,
I feel like I saw the whole
I
show on TikTok, baby. I saw all those TikToks getting sold to me.
I have not seen Two Strangers. I have to be honest that I think I'm probably not going to, but good for Christiani. Is that bad to say? I don't think I'm going to see it. I saw Casey Levi in Ragtime. I think she's excellent. I'm going to be honest, I didn't love this production of Ragtime. I'm just being honest here on the Patreon. We can let our guard down a little bit.
We're never not being honest. Like even on the main feed, like I might omit, something that I would say else, like that I would say, but like we're being honest, babe. Like that's what we do. We're not gonna, no, we're not gonna be. What is it called? Audience captured. I was just reading about what audience captured meant,
I don't know
where
what
it's
that
like
means.
you like sanitize your point of view or your like politics or whatever for your like if you're as like an influencer or a podcaster or a writer, when you start to get a bigger platform, then you like start to be like, oh, I can't say this because I don't want to lose my followers. And I'm like, well, we like, we don't need fascists listening to us. Like we don't need
Right.
your
Please
$7 as
don't
an
join us on
ingenue.
this feed. Yeah. I think for me, I still have a lot to see this season. Just being honest, I still need to see Rocky Horror and Schmigadoon. I am very excited to see Schmigadoon and Rocky Horror. I think that I am most excited for Marla Mindell in this category. Like you said, lesbian. She wrote Titanic. It was an off Broadway darling. She moved it up the pyramid of New York City nightlife theater and onto Broadway. And I'm very happy for her. I think we've said this before, but Titanic could just be another musical parody on 46th Street or something. but it is so much better than it needs to be. It is well crafted, the jokes are funny, the music is great, they have great talent. It is a riot. If you know anything about Titanic, I think you'll have a great time at Titanic, and I'm happy for Marla Mendel. I feel like she's legit made her own way to getting, is this her first Tony nomination?
I think that's right. Yeah.
I'm happy for her. I think she's crafted this herself.
Well said, Anne.
I think I'm rooting for her. That being said, I haven't seen some things yet, but right now I'm rooting for Marla Mendel in Best Leading Actress.
Okay, great. Let's move on to best leading actress in a play. I'm gonna say Rose Byrne in Fallen Angels, Carrie Coon in Bug, Susanna Flood in Liberation, Leslie Manville in Oedipus, and Kelly O'Hara in Fallen Angels. Okay, I have seen none of these, so I feel a little bit bad about that.
I am sad that I missed. Okay, did you know that everyone had been pronouncing that production as Oedipus, and I was so disturbed? But
Why?
apparently Oedipus is how they. And I don't know if it's a British way. I do love Leslie Manville, but I missed Oedipus, and I'm sad that I missed it. I did see Liberation. I thought Susanna Flood was excellent. Best Wall just won the Pulitzer. They just announced this morning for Liberation, which I think that play was, I think, a really great piece of new work that was very personal, and I really loved it. I thought she did a great job with it. Fallen Angels, I'm so excited to see. I haven't seen yet. You know, I think that Kelly O'Hara is an underrated comedic talent on Broadway. We don't get many sopranos who are funny. And Rose Byrne is obviously great. I missed Carrie Coon in Bug, and I'm sad that I missed that too. But I obviously love Carrie Coon. So I don't have a winner here yet. I have more to see, but I think this is a strong category.
You told me, I believe in Denver, you were like, oh, this is one. If you don't know, folks, one of Anne's favorite things to do and say is to be like, remind me to tell you something. And then occasionally it'll be like, remind me to tell you who I just realized Missy Pyle looks like, but I won't tell you now. And then like 8 hours later, I'm like, who did you say you were going to tell me somebody looked like? And you'll be like, what? I'm like, you said somebody earlier looked like somebody. Do you know? I don't remember who you were talking about. And she was like, I don't know. Don't worry, we got there we got there 5 weeks later. We figured out who it was. It was that Kate LaPresse looks like Missy Pyle, which is true. The other in Denver, you also were like, remind me to tell you something about Leslie Manville. Do you remember what it was?
I think it was probably that it's pronounced Oedipus. I think that's probably it.
I love you.
Folks, if you want to hear the rest of this episode where we break down all the comings and goings of the Tony nominations, you can find us over on patreon.com/you might know her from if you want to listen to the rest of the episode. We'll see you over there.